Africa's development, entrepreneurship as a tool for Africa's development. I was reading a book some time ago, and they were talking about how the Asantes fought the British, and they did not want to be part of their education, and they really put the fight up until 1900 that they gave up, and the British started to educate their people. I think they knew something. They knew they were of the belief that if they accepted that kind of education, they would be destroyed. I remember our professor in the university, Professor Jokoto, said that had they not come, you probably would have found a way of us, developing our own technology, which I side with him. There a lot of Africans who debate this. There are a lot of people who debate this, but obviously, after this 400 years, we still have Africa trying to find our feet. You see, there are two things that will call for development: a good government structure, good government system, strong institutions, so to say, which are run by the government, and then very strong business people, local entrepreneurs that have been built, that have been built well intentionally. So that the entrepreneurs are the ones who are going to set the businesses up that will produce everything that the society needs, from clothes to soap, to shed, to house, to everything in between. So for instance, if you take the agri sector, everything from the farm through to the processing to the finished food, which is packaged well. So you pick the construction sector, same. You pick the electronic sector, you pick everywhere, energy, telecommunication, in an intentional document or intentional plan to make sure that just as we are developing with our democracy, just as we are developing with our government structure, we are also developing local entrepreneurs who can build systems and structures, commercial systems and structures, and these two working together create prosperity. But what I see is that we've not been intentional about the other one. With Ghana, for instance, have been doing a bit with government and elections and democracy and all that. But the other side that we've not done so well is being able to be conscious of the fact maybe 80% of the people that we are producing from the university, we are conditioning them to come and try something, produce something, that can be built into a business. But if you look at the courses that they are offering in our universities, a lot of us are just doing the literature and history and English and the languages and the art and drumming, and those things don't have to be the majority of our people. The majority of our people should be skilled people who will be able to pick a raw material. God endowed us with everything that anybody else will need, all the raw materials, but what is missing is a conscious, deliberate, developed people who can build technology, systems, structures to turn these raw materials into product, and that's where entrepreneurship comes in. And for me, if Africa is going to develop, we will need that kind of critical mass of people who are trying, and perchance we will get a certain percentage of them who end up building businesses. They talk about creating of employment. Government cannot create employment to any certain level. It will take the business people, especially our own people, and we have to build our own people to a certain level where if you come to retail, you have local Ghanaian companies competing, with ShopRite, with other retail shops. If you come to technology, if you come to telecommunication, the same, Ghanaian companies. After all, we should be able to have a lot of billionaires from our raw materials. For instance, gold. How many Ghanaians have you been able to produce out of the gold? We were called the Gold Coast. Timber, cocoa. How many of us? Because there's not been a deliberate attempt to produce a lot of us who will just go into industry. Majority of us, look at the courses that people even do, and look at the people that we tout and we celebrate so much. Our heroes are political, many. It's not industrial, it's not entrepreneurship. It's not entrepreneurs, it's not innovators, it's not creators. We celebrate, because that it was intentional, because they never wanted us to come with the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, those that will help us to take our own destiny into our hands, those that will help us to be able to turn the gold into a finished product, those that will be able to help us to turn the oil, to be able to drill the oil, build our own. It's not been like that because nobody has ever wanted Africa to develop, and the Africans themselves have not even paid attention to this. And so I'm talking about entrepreneurship as a tool. We need to do that, and we need to tell these young people that this is the way forward. And if you complete school, you've got to get a skill that will help you to solve a need in society. There is waste. There are so many problems: water, food, clothes, shoes, everywhere. Whether you're producing the final products, or you are delivering a service, or you're producing the intermediate product, whatever it is, from electronics to coding, everywhere. We have to do this intentionally. Don't just start business because you want money. And for me, our problem is the mindset, the thinking, the way we've been grown to look at business. Most people go to school, they don't want to go to business at all, because that was not part of the design. The design was that we send you to school, when you complete, go and work for the white man, and that has stayed with us. So when you finish school, go and work for the government. That's it. We have left commerce, industry, entrepreneurship to those who we think didn't go to school, but our language, even the language of commerce, we're sorry to say, but now it's maybe the English, And so they send you through school, not just when you finish, you look for a job, but so that you can come and solve society's problems. And I think far more than producing major business people, I am of the thinking that we'll be able to produce critical mass of Ghanaian, of African youth who will use this, who will enter, come out with a product, develop a software, go to farm, start a construction company, any company that you can start, equipping them. You see, you don't have to wait for government, because the government themselves are healing their wounds. And perchance, maybe by the time they finish healing their wounds, we will be old. So don't wait for any help. Start something, because it's a call. And we all have that gift if you have the willingness. And I am of the opinion that don't just have the willingness, have the call. It's a higher call. To say that we have to create an Africa that is better for our children than the one that we came to meet. And that will mean that having a very good government institutions, government machinery, and then having locals, having Ghanaians, having Africans who are scattered across board in any industry and leading these industries. And for me, this is how we are going to create a lot of wealth, a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities for our people. Don't tell me that can everybody become entrepreneur. If everybody wants to become entrepreneur, let them become entrepreneur. But there will be fallings. People will fall, people will fail. It's part of the game. It's like when a child wants to start to walk. It is part of it. They will fall. But if they don't give up, they will start to walk. If they don't give up, they will start to walk. So don't make the money the only aim while you start business, but the need for us to develop, to create a lot of the things that we use ourselves, a lot of the things that we use ourselves. So my name is Kwabena. I'm talking about entrepreneurship as a tool. You'll be frustrated by government institutions, because those institutions likely still run like colonial institutions. With no fault of yours, they will just come and act like you have a lot of money. Don't worry about it. Don't be disappointed in those, because they don't know. You still have to understand the psyche. Once you understand the psyche, and once you understand where we are coming from, you will not be frustrated. If you start and they frustrate you, don't worry, start another one. Because it calls for a lot of skills. They are producing maybe 300 to 400,000 graduates every year. Go and look at the courses that they are doing. Look at the skill set that they get after the university. Barely nothing. Look at the industries that can even take this skill and develop them. So we are the generation to do this, and we have no complaints but to do. And it doesn't matter the sacrifices that we have to make, we have got to do this. Because if we don't do this, then others will come and do this, and then they will be the most prosperous, and we will just be left with the politics and the religion and the media and the journalists and the lawyers, and that's all, and we will just be talking. But the real control of the economy is in the hands of those who have money. It's in the hands of those who have money. And it shouldn't be that those who were not born here, those who don't have their ancestry from here, should be the ones controlling all the wealth on our land. We should be. And that's why I think I'm of the thinking that in addition to the best of government practices, we must develop a whole new generation that sees entrepreneurship as a tool for development, as a tool for our prosperity, as a tool for us to take charge of our own resources and our own destiny. You see, the COVID-19 brought this when nobody could bring us a lot of the things that we needed everybody started to produce the things that we needed, the masks and the sanitizers and all those. Now people are thinking of going into agriculture. Start something. You cannot say that you have completed school and you have nothing to do. I don't understand that. What do you mean by you don't have nothing to do? If you have nothing to do in the city, go to your village, go and start cassava farm. You have no idea. Just because you can read and write, you have no idea where this cassava farm can take